Welcome back, and now we are joined over the phone by Dr. Asmaa Elzieny, International Relations Expert. Good afternoon, Dr. Asmaa.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
Yes, Asmaa, how do you see the UAE decision to suspend the financial and economic transactions with Iran, and what triggered the latest escalation between the two countries?
I believe that the United Arab Emirates is going towards controlling the strikes against all Arab countries, and especially United Arab Emirates.
Yes.
I believe they are using the economic weapon to control the military situation against all Gulf states, and this temporary boycott, I believe, is one of these ways of controlling the situation.
And what impact could the suspension of the economic ties have on trade between the two countries?
I also believe that both parties are going to suffer out of this decision. Of course, Iran is going to be the greatest loser, as the United Arab Emirates was the only way of their importers and exporters because of the economic sanctions for years on Iran. But I believe the loss for Iran is going to be greater than United Arab Emirates. But somehow, I believe also United Arab Emirates is going to suffer a little bit as consequences of this. Because it is for years, for example, Dubai has been like a commercial hub for investment and industry.
And how might the move affect the shipping and maritime security in the Gulf?
This is, we could consider like a smart movement of United Arab Emirates, because they are converging to the only way to secure this. I believe the coming negotiations, if any of this type is going to be between Emirates and Iran somehow, they are going to try to secure the safety of the waterways and especially the Strait of Hormuz, of course.
And could the latest escalation lead to wider tensions between Iran and the Gulf states?
As everyone knows, Iran is targeting the Gulf states not for attacking or directing pure strikes for the Gulf states. They are actually targeting the American interests in these states, and this was stated clearly by the Iranian officials over the last few months of the war between U.S., Israel, and Iran. So they are not targeting their neighbors. For years, all Gulf states have been like neighboring countries, and they have their normal relations. But what has been announced by Iranian officials, that they are targeting the American interests in these states.
And what role could diplomatic efforts play in preventing further escalation?
Of course, the diplomatic solution is not excluded. I believe it's going to be the final solution to which every part is going to revert. But there could be like what we could call hard discussions, very rough, because I believe the United Arab Emirates and all the Gulf states are going to have their own what we call conditions to sit and negotiate the situation. They wanted to, first of all, to stop the targeting of the Arab Emirates and all Gulf states, I believe, and also to secure the security of the waterway in the area, on the top of which comes the Strait of Hormuz, to remain that it's going to be to remain open. Also, very much needed that we need like regional security arrangements to stop the escalation of the situation, and to guarantee that the diplomatic route between America and Iran is going to be continuous, inshallah.
So, Dr. Asmaa, also, how could the crisis affect businesses and investors operating between the UAE and Iran?
I just have mentioned to you that this decision is so hard for both parties. because for years Dubai was considered like the only way of re-exporting the Iranian exporters due to the economic sanctions on Iran for years. And also United Arab Emirates was the only way for the Iranian imports. So this is going to affect greatly the balance of trade between two countries and affect their internal exports and imports.
And what are the potential consequences for the wider Gulf economy now, and what would need to happen for the UAE to restore economic and financial relations with Iran?
I believe all the Gulf states are going to be affected by this decision of suspending the commercial relations between UAE and Iran. And of course, I believe that the Saudi Arabia mainly is going to be one of the most affected also by this decision. But I believe that the United Arab Emirates is doing this as the only way of pushing toward this de-escalation of the situation. They are using the economic weapon to de-escalate the military situation which has been like no one can have been able to control over the last few months.
Yes, finally, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Asmaa Elzieny, international relations expert. Thank you, Dr. Asmaa, for being with us. And by that, dear viewers, we come to the end of today's edition of our program Inside Egypt. Stay tuned for Voices of the Continent is coming next. And as we've just mentioned and talked about the relations between Iran and the UAE as the crisis started to affect businesses and investors operating between the United Arab Emirates and Iran. And by that we come to the end of today's edition. Thank you for watching.